because she don't want her to see the kids, which I understand why.
Excuse me? I raised my daughter. She was never in foster home.
Would have been better.
What? Do you have any idea how selfish that sounds?
She can stay her way, I can stay my way.
I want you to use your ears, not your mouth. Either raises or breeds dogs. What are they called?
Bullies, bulldogs.
How long have you been either breeding? You breed them like
Not breed them. I send them off to get bred, so someone else breeds them.
You bought a dog that's the subject of this case, male or a female?
It was a male at the time.
And who did you buy it from?
I bought it off Marketplace.
Yeah,
so it was
yeah.
like a, basically, it's a group called Bully Minnesota. I bought it off of there.
When did you purchase it?
August 23rd.
Of this year or a year ago?
A year ago, last year.
And at some point, just so that we understand the social part of this case, you and the plaintiffs, according to them, have not gotten along.
Never.
Never. That fair to say?
I wouldn't say never, but we do not get
You
along
don't
to this
get
point.
along. Do you see your grandchildren?
Not any longer, unfortunately.
Okay. Had you before this incident?
Yes.
Really? Okay. This is what your case is about. It is your claim that the defendant, for one reason or another, couldn't keep this dog and gave it to you.
Correct.
And gave it to you in late May of 2024. Do you remember the date?
We was moving, so basically, I had asked someone to try to figure out somewhere for him to go.
Was that your only dog?
Yeah, it was the only dog at the time that I had. Yep.
Okay. So what date was it that...
We moved into our apartment, I'll say about May 1st. So it was along the lines of April or somewhere near there, like the end of April.
Correct.
Okay, well, she says it was May that you contacted them about taking the dog.
Me personally, I never contacted her because I never got
did?
along with her. Her mother.
Your mother contacted you.
That's correct.
Well, that's difficult. Okay. You never had any conversation with him about the dog?
No, but I had conversation with my daughter, Courtney.
She didn't buy the dog?
No. I don't,
did.
I don't know who bought the dog.
Is that right, Courtney? He bought the dog.
Yeah, he bought.
Thank you.
Yeah, he bought the dog, but when I found out that my grandmother, her mother, contacted her and she said she would watch the dog, then I reached out to her to see when we could bring the dog to her or if she was picking the dog up.
Okay. And do you remember what date that was?
I don't remember the date, but I do have the messages on my phone.
Could I see it?
Yeah.
Well, you just look at your phone and tell me.
I asked her if she was going to take Paco April 22nd, 2023.
Okay. And can you read me the messages back and forth?
Yes. So April 22nd, I said, were you going to take Paco? And she replied, yeah, when can we get him? And I said, when are you able to? And then the next day, April 23rd, she said today. And then I said, okay, I have to do some things after work. And then I can get all of his stuff together around dinner time.
Okay, now was that the first message? Because watching a dog, because you're moving, or giving a dog away are two entirely different things. That's what this case is about.
Mm-hmm. I personally never agreed to give him away. That's where the whole confusion came.
I got it. So you never had a conversation with the dog's owner about making a gift to you of this dog?
I had a conversation with him when he,
When?
the transfer of the dog.
You, with him?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, tell me about that.
And me and Charles, as he was getting out of the vehicle and he was getting the dog cage for Paco, Tank, I looked him in his eyes and it was a man's verbal agreement. I said, look, Charles.
No. Don't tell me what a
Okay,
man's
all right.
verbal agreement.
Yes, ma'am.
You said he was getting?
Yes, ma'am. He's unloading this. The dog is getting transferred out of the vehicle to me into my custody. And I had said to Charles, I said, Charles, I said, if I take responsibility for this dog, I'm not giving this dog back. He said, oh, that's okay, man. We're not allowed to have it at our new apartment. And I have a second child coming in. It's okay. I don't have time for this dog anymore.
Do you remember, just a second, do you remember that conversation, sir?
All I will say is I don't remember because, like I said, I was in a hurry.
No. Let's get back. Did you drop the dog off and exchange it with Mr. Weiland
Yes, I did.
Just a second. And now, and you know what the situation is now. He has just recounted to me that you said all the things. We can't have the dog in our new apartment. Courtney, is that correct? Just listen to me. That's a very simple question. Can you have the dog in your new apartment?
No.
And there was a second child coming along.
Correct.
So those things buttress what Mr. Weiland has just told me, that at the exchange, you live in a place where you can't have a dog, so now it becomes clear. Mr. Garrett,
Yes, ma'am.
you see how things change? Things change from the time you walk into that door and the time you get a little information. So what appears to have happened was you took the dog,
Yes, ma'am.
and you had the dog for about a month and a half.
Going
About a
2.5.
Maybe 2 months. And then, from what I read, so cut to the chase, from what I read, your mother moved into the same apartment complex that they live in.
In May, yep.
And your mother, therefore, could have a dog.
Yes, ma'am.
So you decided that it would be best for the dog to go with your mother.
Yep, but the
Yeah,
whole...
just a second. That's what this is about. So somehow the authorities got involved. Did authorities get involved?
Yep.
Yes, ma'am.
The authorities got involved, transfer the dog back to you, and the dog with your mother now?
The dog is sold. I don't want anything to even do with the dog. That's what I do. I sell him, I made him. Sell the puppies.
Just a second. I want you to go slowly because I'm old.
Oh, I got you. Sorry.
You took the dog back to give to your mother. Is not an answer.
Yes, ma'am.
And then what happened to the dog after that?
The dog, after that,
Just a second. She's listening to you. And she's not going to say anything that's not true.
yep.
So you better. What happened to the dog after you gave it to your mother?
Oh, he was living with my mom for about 2-3 months.
2 to 3 months.
Yep.
And then what happened?
Well, she kept harassing my mom and walking their dog every time that we'll walk Paco. So basically, he's not sold, but I had gave him to my sister to watch until we move, because we'll be moving soon.
I got you. Now I know exactly what happened. He did, in fact, say to you when he transferred the dog to you, and you were clear with him. You said, listen, I'm not taking responsibility. You have another dog.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not taking responsibility for this dog because there's lots to do with the dog unless this is going to be our dog.
Yes.
Because right now it's not clear. You don't have anything on your messages that said this is just, you're just watching the dog for us. Is that right?
Not in those words, no.
Right. Okay. So this is what your lawsuit is about. Your lawsuit says you want the value of the dog. Why? I'm just asking you why. You used to see, my problem is what he did was make you a gift, and then he took back the gift. Yes, you did. You made him a gift. I find that conversation took place. You may have changed your mind with your mother, and then you changed your mind with your sister, and you're just going to have the dog for 3 months. Before you know it, this dog is going to be really, really screwed up, going from your house to their house, to your mother's house, to your sister's house, and then someplace, maybe back to your house. You shouldn't have a dog.
That's what I do.
You shouldn't have a dog. What do you think happens to a child within the first year of their life? At first, they go to live with one person, and they attach to that one person. And then 3 months later, you say, well, we're going to send you to another person. And they attach to that person because that's what they do. That's what children do. That's what dogs do. And then 3 months later, you take it and you say, nah, I think I'm going to give this one to my sister to watch for me for a while. And then they attach to yet a third person. And then when you finally decide to be responsible, you say, well, now we're moving to a new place. I'm not exactly sure when, but then we're going to take the dog back from my sister. You know how selfish that sounds? Do you have any idea how selfish that sounds? You have 2 children?
Yeah.
Can you imagine the scenario of your children going from one foster home to another every 3 months? Can you imagine what that would do to your child? Said, that's what you've done to the dog.
Kind of like her daughter.
What?
It's kind of like her daughter. That's what she did to her daughter. So, I mean, you can't really
Excuse
compare
me?
to that.
I raised my daughter. She was never in foster home.
Just a second. Okay.
Would have been better.
All right. There are reasons for everything. I would like to see you bought the dog, when you bought it, and how much you paid for it.
Yep, that's right there.
So is it my understanding that you paid $650 for the dog?
I talked him down a little bit.
What?
I talked him down a little bit, negotiated.
What did you finally pay for the dog?
500.
Now, when you finally were required to turn the dog back over to him, according to what I read, he gave you some money for the dog food and for...
Yes, I did.
What? Be quiet.
Yes, ma'am.
How much did he give you?
He gave me $200 in cash.
Okay, when you got the dog, you took the dog to the vet.
Yes, ma'am.
You have a vet bill?
Yes.
I'd like to take a look at it.
Say something, ma'am? When we received the dog, I noticed that the dog was in really rough shape.
I
I understand. I just wanted to elaborate on the dog came to us with double ear infections and everything else, and it stayed in there.
Also, if you don't clean his ears within those 2 months, of course it's going to build up.
He was severely dehydrated.
Just a second.
None of that
They
is
took
true.
the dog to the vet 2 days after they got him.
I don't
That's
know
not
what,
2 months. Well,
I don't know what they did.
So I want you to use your ears, not your mouth. Because I believe he said, well, if you have a dog 2 months, you don't clean the ears, they get an infection. They took the dog to the vet 2 days after they got him. Is not an
Yes,
answer.
ma'am, I'm sorry.
Okay, so they gave you medication for both the ears and an infection.
Correct.
And he gave you $200?
Yes, ma'am.
What did you do with it?
Ma'am,
I know what you did with it. You
I
just...
ripped it up, ma'am. In the heat of the moment.
Okay. God, that's what it says in the paper.
Yes, ma'am.
But it needed to appear on the record. And that was for food. That was for food. Well, the dog probably, in the 2 months that you had, probably spent a couple of $100s for food.
It was more than that, ma'am.
Maybe. Gift of the dog to you.
Yes, ma'am.
There was a clear understanding between you personally and the defendant. I don't care about your daughter or your mother-in-law or your wife, but there was a clear understanding with you, to whom he turned over the dog, that this wasn't, I'm going to watch until you get ready. I'm going to take care of the dog. No givebacks. And his response to you that you outlined to me was totally consistent with the facts. They were moving into a place where they couldn't have dogs. Your daughter confirmed that. They still are living in the same place where they can't have dogs. He clearly doesn't like you, and clearly you're not crazy about him. So when opportunistically his mother moved from where she was living into your complex so she could have a dog, he said, I'm going to give the dog to my mother rather than them.
Yes, ma'am.
She kept it for a while. Now, so you're entitled to what he paid for the dog. And he paid $500 for the dog. That's what he said. So that's what I'm awarding you for the dog. Plus the vet bill, which was $195. Now, you say the rest of your complaint is about filing a false restraining order.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Did you file a restraining order against him?
I never filed one, so I don't
I
even
did.
know where
You
that
did.
came from.
Just a second. You filed a restraining order against your parents?
Parent. He's not my father, but yeah.
Against your mother?
Yeah.
You filed a restraining order, but you're not a party to this proceeding.
No, this is, it doesn't have anything to do with the dog. This is just simply because it's just adds on.
Just a second. The last part of your complaint is filing a false report that caused a temporary restraining order to be issued.
Yeah.
But he has to be the one that filed the false restraining order.
He did. Okay.
He did?
Yes, he did.
Well, then let me see what he did. So what you're saying is you never filed a restraining order. Take a
I
look at
worked
this.
too much to file one, so
Take a
I
look at-
know it wasn't me. Yeah, I never filed one, so
That was when I.
this is when she filed it. I never personally filed one. And I even told them I don't want to be a part of it, so I don't even know why my name's on here. This is between her daughter, and my mother, and
May
my
I see
children.
that, please?
That's nothing to do with
Yeah.
me. So I don't even know why my name's on there.
Well, I'm looking at the signature on the signature page of the restraining order. Oh, yeah, that's your signature.
I never knew that I was even on a restraining order. She can stay her way, I can stay my way. I don't need no restraining order, so I don't even know how that came about. But I know with her and her daughter and my 2 children, that's probably why, because she don't want her to see the kids, which I understand why.
You are Charles Garrett, aren't you?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay, and this is Charles Garrett, petitioner against Tara Weiland.
And even if it's not one...
6/6/2024.
That's the day we got Paco back. Yep.
What happened with this case?
It was
lot.
dismissed. He never showed.
But if possible, I am going to file another one, so I ain't even got to deal with none of this no more.
You filed this
Well,
one, sir.
no, it wasn't dismissed. Ours got denied, so then we petitioned it to see why it
He
got
signed
denied.
this. He filed a petition. This is his signature. He filed it June 18th, 2024.
I don't remember signing that.
Well, so listen, if you need a psychiatrist or a neurologist, that's not my problem. You filed it, you outlined. I mean, nobody could make this up, fool.
I might have. I don't recall, though, so.
Right. Did
I
you
know
hire an
personally I never
attorney?
filed it,
Shh,
so.
well, be quiet. Did you hire an attorney?
No, ma'am.
You just went to court?
Yeah.
And it was dismissed, he never showed up?
Correct. I had a restraining order that was placed on me that was supposed to be by my daughter, by his mother, and by him after I placed a restraining order only on his mother. And she was trespassed from my place of employment as well. And so it was kind of retaliation, yeah.
Whatever
and
it
they
is.
were all dismissed.
Whatever it is.
on-
The $695 is for the dog because he did, in fact, give the dog to you, sir. I believe what you're saying to me. And I'm fining him $2,000 for filing a restraining order that he did clearly file several months ago that for some, uncross your arms, that for some reason or other now he doesn't remember and denies ever doing. But he clearly did. Right, Courtney?
Correct.
Right. Okay, $2,695. Judgment for the plaintiff. We're finished here.
Thank you, ma'am.
This court is adjourned.
She should never got nothing, but it is what it is. I mean, I can't fight with it. I'm just happy that they're happy now.
I'm very grateful for her decision.
I filed it on my own reasons because I don't want her to keep harassing me or my children, and I just don't want any connection with her anymore.
Just very hurt that my daughter is still bullheaded.
Just leave me alone. That's all that is, man.
It's in God's hands, and faith will bring us together.
Sarah, the first one was irresponsible people should never be pet owners. And, you know, certain dogs, in my opinion, have potentially dangerous tendencies if they're not raised appropriately, physiologically. And this man bought a pit bull and has transferred it from one person to another. So it's been, it's bonded and then taken away. It's bonded and then taken away. And you wonder why an animal gets crazy, acts out after being, certainly I believe that the dog was treated well with the plaintiffs. They cared enough about it that within 2 days they took it to the vet. They felt that the animal wasn't appropriate weight, that it was annoyed in the ears. They spent money, clearly in anticipation of keeping the dog. He's just not a nice guy. It was so funny. My feeling when I looked at the papers and what actually happened was so totally different. It was
You
just
never know what you're going to get until they're
you
in
know,
front of
on
you.
paper it seemed pretty clear, but then as the story unfolded, what your initial impression was, so you can't judge a book by its cover.
Got to get the information out first.
And the second part of that case is so sad because the daughter had clearly allowed her parents, her mother, to see the grandchildren up until the time of this incident.
It's just unfortunate that, not that a dog isn't important, but something as small in comparison to a grandparent's relationship with a grandchild, as small as a dog and its ownership, could ruin that relationship for both of them.
Yes, but Courtney told the truth. I wanted to say to her, whether it's true or not, 25 years from now, you're not going to know the person standing to your immediate right. And that would be the father of her children. But that person's always going to be your mother.
Choices. It's all about choices.
It's all about choices. Well, the kids and that's certainly that poor dog is suffering as a result of people's poor choices. That's unfortunate.
It was a chain reaction of adult decisions made without fully thinking about who would be affected. Watching this case didn't feel entertaining. It felt uncomfortable because at its core, this wasn't legally, really. And in the middle of all that was a dog. But the dog was never the real issue. The real issue was instability. From what surfaced in court, the defendant made the choice to give the dog away knowing their living situations was changing. A new apartment, a new child, no permission for pets. Under those circumstances, rehoming the dog made practical sense. What mattered more was the understanding that came with it. If you take this dog, it's yours, permanently. That kind of verbal agreement carries weight, not just legally, but emotionally. Because once you transfer responsibility under those terms, you don't get to reverse that decision simply because your circumstances shift again later. What made this situation practically unstable wasn't just the transfer itself, it was how casually it all seemed to happen. The dog moved from one home to another, forming attachment, then facing separation again. Living beings don't process change the way humans do. They don't understand temporary. They understand routine, safety, and connection. That's why the judge's observations about selfishness hit so strongly. Not malicious intent, but careless behavior. And carelessness can still cause real harm. Things became even more complicated when legal action like restraining orders entered the picture, whether driven by confusion, fear, or retaliations. Escalating conflict through unclear legal steps only deepens divisions, especially when families and children are already involved. The impact of that kind of escalating doesn't disappear when a case ends, it lingers. Wasn't a simple story of right versus wrong. It was more nuanced than that. On one side were people who generally behaved as tough. They were accepting permanent responsibility. They took the dog to the more niche thing. They spent money. They reorganized their lives. Their actions showed commitment. On the other side was inconsistency, changing narratives, uncertain recollections, minimizing previous decisions. That doesn't automatically make someone a villain, but it does create double about reliability. In the end, the ruling felt grounded in one principle: stability matters, accountability matters, and once responsibility is handed over, reclaiming it only when it becomes convenient undermines trust. This case was serve as a reminder that commitment isn't defined by what we see. It's defined by what we consistently do. When consistency disappears, everyone is affected, including those who never choose to be the part of the conflict. That's my honest reaction. If you appreciate calm, thoughtful courtroom breakdowns like this, without shouting or accusations, consider supporting the channel. Like the video, share your perspective in the comments, and subscribe so these conversations can continue.